This is the November 2021 Edexcel Foundation Tier, Paper 2, and that is a calculator paper. So let's get started. Question 1, write 31% as a fraction. So 31%, a percent is out of 100. So 31% is 31 out of 100, 31 hundredths. If you did want to use the calculator, you could write 31 and then the percent button. So 31%, so that was shift and then ANS on this calculator. Press equals and it will convert it to a fraction, or if you press the S to D button, a decimal as well. Question 2, change 3 meters into centimeters. Every meter is 100 centimeters. So 1 meter is 100 centimeters. So 3 meters are 300 centimeters. Question 3, write the following numbers in order of size. Start with the smallest number. So we start, when we're comparing numbers, we start with the column furthest to the left, so the biggest one. So we've got the ones here, so we've got 2 zeros and 2 ones. So the zeros are smallest, and then next we'll compare the next column. So this is the tenths column, the next one to the right. So we've got a 1 and a 2, so the 1 must be the smallest. So that's the smallest number. That must be the second smallest number. So 0.12, then 0.21. So for our ones with 1, they both had 1 in the ones, so they're the same. Then we compare the tenths. We've got a 0, which is smaller than a 2, so that's the third and the fourth number. So it's 0.12, 0.21, 1.02 and 1.20. Question 4, simplify. M plus M plus M plus M. So we've got 4 M's added together, so it makes 4M. 1 M plus another M is 2 M's, plus another one is 3 M's, plus another one is 4 M's. If it was M times M times M times M, that would be M to the power of 4. But here we've got 4 M's added together, that's 4 times M, 4M. Part B, simplify 12p divided by 4. So 12p shared out between 4. 12p, or 12 divided by 4 is 3. So 12p divided by 4 is 3p. Question 5. The diagram shows a rectangle. So we've got 20 meters by 35 meters. On the centimeter grid below, draw an accurate scale drawing of this rectangle. Use a scale. 1 centimeter is 5 meters. So every 5 meters is represented by 1 centimeter. So 20 divided by 5 is 4. So that will be 4 centimeters. Every 5 meters makes 1 centimeter. 35 divided by 5 is 7. So that will be 7 centimeters. So each 1 centimeter is 5 meters. So we need to draw the rectangle 4 centimeters by 7 centimeters. So 1, 2, 3, 4 up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 along. And then 4 down and 7 along. There's our rectangle, 4 by 7. Question 6. Here is a list of whole numbers from 21 to 30. From the list, write down a square number. So the only square number on that list is 25. And 25 is a square number because it is 5 squared. 5 times 5 is equal to 25. From the list, write down a multiple of 8. So the 8 times table goes 8, 16, 24, 32, and so on. So there's only one number in the 8 times table on that list. That's 24. Question 7. A baker has 3 bags of flour. They're called A, B, and C. Bag A and bag B contain the same amount of flour. Bag C contains 940 grams of flour. In the 3 bags, there is a total of 2,500 grams of flour. Work out the amount of flour in bag A. So we could take bag C away from the total. So 2,500 take away 940 is 1,560. So let's write down our calculation. So 2,500 take away 940 is 1,560 grams. So that's taking away bag C. So now we know we've taken away bag C, so that's only bag A and B left. That's A and B, and they contain the same amount. So if we divide by 2, half 1,560, that will tell us how much is in each bag. So that's 780 grams. So 780 grams in each bag A and B. Question 8. 5 students throw a dice. They each throw the dice the same number of times. The diagram gives information about the number of times the dice lands on each number. How many times? Work out how many times each student throws the dice. Okay, so let's see how many of each. So we got 6 ones. It goes up to 6. We got 4 twos. 5 landed on 3 5 times. It landed on 4 8 times. Landed on 5 7 times. And it landed on 6 5 times. So let's add all of those together and see how many throws of the dice there were. So 6 plus 4 plus 5 plus 8 plus 7 plus 5. And that is 35. So there were 35 throws. How many students were there? There were 5 students, and they all threw it the same number of times. So 35 divided by 5. You can use your calculator for that, but it is 7. So 7 times each. Alec needs to work out the value of 2 plus 3 times 4. He writes 2 plus 3 is 5, and 5 times 4 is 20. So 2 plus 3 times 4 is 20. Alec is wrong. Explain why. So Alec's not followed the correct order of operations. And if we did type that in the calculator would follow the correct order. So we do our multiplication before we add. So we need to do 3 times 4 first, which would be 12, and then 2 plus 12, which is 14. So we did not follow, Alec did not follow. Do the correct order of operations. We should say it's 3 times 4 first, so the multiplication first. So 2 plus 12 is 14. So anything to say that he should multiply first before he adds would be good for that mark. Question 10. Write 17 as a fraction of 30. 17 over 30. 17 out of 30 is 17 30ths. Question 11. Reflect shape A in the mirror line. So the mirror line is drawn for us. We're doing a reflection. So each point on A will be the same distance away from the mirror line on the other side. So this green point here is 1, 2 away. So on the other side, 1, 2. For this blue point, 1, 2, 3 from the mirror line. So on the other side, 1, 2, 3. And the red, 1, 2, 3, 4. On the other side, 1, 2, 3, 4. So we'll join up those points now. Use a ruler. And there is our reflected shape. Question 12, work out. So we're going to be using the calculator, the square root of 13.82 divided by 4.06. So we press the square root first, then the fraction button, and then just type it in how it looks. So 13.82 on the top and 4.06 on the bottom. So we have 1.844977205. Part B, give your answer correct to 2 decimal places. So that's 2 numbers after the decimal point. So 1, 2 we want. Is the next number. We only care about the next number. So we don't care about the one after. Is it 5 or above? If it is, we round up. If it isn't, we leave it as it is. So it is not 5 or above. So we're going to leave it as 1.84. Question 13. RST is a straight line. Work out the value of x. So angles on a straight line add up to 180 degrees. So these 3 angles, our x and our 75 and our 84, must add up to 180 degrees. So 75 and 84 make 159. So our x angle plus 159 must equal 180. So if we do 180, take away our answer, 159, we get 21 degrees. So x must be 21 degrees. Give a reason for your answer. The reason is because angles in a straight line add up to 180 degrees. Angles on a straight line add to 180 degrees. Question 14. Nazima uses this graph to find out how much money she has paid for the number of hours she has worked. So we've got pay against hours. How much money is Nazima paid for each hour she works? So we could look at 1 hour. So if we go from 1 hour up to the line and then across and read off, and that is halfway, exactly halfway between 10 and 20. So it is 15 pounds for each hour. So 2 hours is 2 15s, which is 30. 3 hours, 3 15s, 45, and so on. So 15 pounds for each hour. Last week, Nazima worked for 36 hours. How much was she paid? So 36 hours, £15 for each hour. 36 times 15 is £540. Question 15. Write the following fractions in order of size. Start with the smallest fraction. Seeing we've got a calculator, it might be easiest to write these all as decimals. So let's do that. So 5 eighths is 0.625. So that's 0.625. 2/3 is, well, 0.6666 going on forever. So 2/3 is 0.6 recurring, or 0.66666, and so on. 4/9 is 0.4 going on forever, 0.4 recurring. And 3/5, that's 0.6. So 3/5 is 0.6. So start with the smallest one. So the 4, so looking at the tenths, we've got 6, 6, 4 and 6, so 4 must be the smallest. Then on to the hundredths. So we've got a 0 here, a nothing, a 2 and a 6. So the nothing is smallest, then the 2, then the 6. So we have 4/9, then 3/5, 5/8, and 2/3. Question 16. The pie chart gives information about the colour of each car in a car park. There are 135 black cars. Work out the number of white cars. So 135 cars is 90 degrees. So 90 degrees is 135 cars. We could work out the total number of cars. So if this is a quarter, we could times it by 4 to get the total number of cars. So 360 degrees, the total is 135 times 4. So in total, there are 540 cars. So in total, there are 540, and white is 80 degrees of it. So 80, 360ths, that's the fraction that is white, times 540. So that fraction of means times. So that fraction of 540, 80 over 360 times 540 is 120. So it's 120 white cars. We could have also, so if we said 90 degrees is 135 cars, we could have divided by 9 to find out what 10 degrees is. So if we did 135 divided by 9, we could have said 10 degrees is 15 cars. And then we could have taken 10 degrees away from 90 degrees to get 80 degrees. So 135 take away 15 is 120. Or we could have times by 8. So 10 degrees times 8 is 80 degrees. 15 times 8 is 120. Either of those methods would be good. There are 50 grey cars in the car park. A car in the car park is picked at random, find the probability it's grey. So we know, we've already worked out there are 540 cars, 50 are grey, so it's 50 cars, 50 grey out of 540 in total. We don't have to simplify it, we weren't asked to, so I'm going to leave it like that. Question 17. 60 people are asked if they prefer to text or to email their friends. 38 of the people are women, the rest are men. So 38 are women. There are 60 in total. So 60 take away the 38 means there are 22 men. 60 minus 38 is 22. 15 of the men prefer to email. So 15 of the men prefer to email. 22 take away 15 leaves 7. So 7 prefer to text. 60% of the people in total prefer to text. So 60% of, so times 60, 60% of 60 people. So 60% of 60 people is 36. So 36 prefer to text. We've already got 7 of them. So 36 take away the 7 we've already got. Leaves 29. So 29 more texts. How many does it leave in the last box? 38 take away 29 is 9. So we're left with 9. And we've completed the frequency tree. Question 18. The incomplete table gives some information about the lengths of the planks of wood in Ben's workshop. So we've got the table, and then it says the total length of these planks is 92 meters. Work out the number of planks of length 2 meters in Ben's workshop. So we have 5 planks that are 3 meters long. So if we multiply them, 3 5s, or 5 3s, are 15. So 5 planks that are 3 meters long, that's 15 meters in total. 8 times 2.5. 8 planks, 2.5 meters long. 8 times 2.5 is 20. Then we don't know how many 2 meter planks, so we'll leave that one. We've got 14 1.5 meters, so 14 times 1.5. And we use the calculator, it should be 21. And 1 10 meter plank, which is 10 meters. So we can add up these ones. So 15, 20, 21 and 10. Add them all together. And that is 66 meters. So 15 plus 20 plus 21 plus 10 was 66 meters. The total length is 92. So all the planks together is 92. These ones we've got so far are 66. So 92 take away 66. 92 take away 66 is 26 meters. So this missing number here must be 26. So 2 times what makes 26? Or half of 26. 26 divided by 2 is 13. So there must be 13 2 meter planks in order for the total to be 92 meters. So the answer is 13. Question 19. Rachel, Samina and Tom share £600 between them. Rachel gets 2/5 of 600. So when we're saying 2/5 of 600 on the calculator, we can do 2/5 times 600. So let's work out what Rachel gets. 2/5 of, so times 600. And that's £240. Samina gets a quarter of the money left over. So how much is left over? Take away the 240. And we get 360. So 360 is left. Samina gets a quarter of that. So a quarter of 360. Or just, to get a quarter, we could just divide by 4. It's the same answer. We'll get 90 either way. So a quarter of 360 is 90. Tom gets the rest of the money. So the rest of the money, so we've got 360 take away 90. Tom gets 360 minus 90. 360 take away 90 is £270. So Tom gets £270. Tom says, I would have got more money if we had shared 600 equally between us. Is Tom correct? Well, if they had shared it equally, they would get 600 divided by 3. 6 divided by 3 is 2. So 200 each. So is he correct? Would he get more? No, he's going to get less. No, he's not right, because £270 is more than £200. So if they'd shared it equally, he would have got 200 instead of 270. So he would have got less money. Question 20. Part A, simplify c to the power of 5 divided by c squared. When we divide indices, we take away the powers. So we've got 5 take away 2, which is 3. We're left with c cubed. That's because we've got c times c times c times c times c divided by c times c. So if we cancel off 2 c's, we're left with c times c times c, which is c cubed. Part B, simplify d to the power of 4 cubed. So when we've got a bracket with our indices, we times the powers. So 4 3s are 12. So we've got d to the power of 12. And that's because cubed means times itself and times itself again. So d to the power of 4 times d to the power of 4 times d to the power of 4 is d cubed. So it's d to the power of 4 cubed. And each d to the power of 4 means d times d times d times d. So we've actually got 12 d's multiplied together. Question 21. Write down the inequality shown on this number line. So x is x because x is over here. And it's bigger than -1. So x is bigger than -1. I'm not going to write the or equal sign because it's not a coloured in dot. It's just a circle. It's not coloured in, so that means it can't equal -1. So x can be anything bigger than -1. Anything this way is bigger than -1. Part B, on the number line below, show the inequality. Y is bigger or equal to -3. So that's a coloured in circle because it's or equal, and less than 4. So that's not a coloured in circle because it can't equal 4. And just with a ruler, join up these 2 dots. And that is our answer. Question 22. Find the highest common factor of 60 and 84. So we are going to write 60 and 84 as a product of their prime factors. So I'll start with 60. And I'll start breaking it down. So I can say 60 is 2 times 30. So 2 30s, and 2 is a prime number. 30 I can break down again. So 30 is 2 15s. 2's prime. 15 I can break down into 3 times 5. So they're all prime numbers now. So I can say 60 is the same as 2 times 2 times 3 times 5. 84 is 2 42s, which is 42 is 2 21s, and 21 is 3 7s. So 84 is the same as 2 times 2 times 3 times 7. I'm going to draw a little Venn diagram. So I'm going to have a circle for 60 and a circle for 84. In the middle, I'm going to put what they've both got in them. So they've both got a 2 and another 2 and a 3. Then the 60 has also got a 5, and the 84 has also got a 7. The highest common factor is the ones they share, the middle bit. So the middle bit is 2, 2 and 3. So the highest common factor is 2 times 2 times 3. And 2 times 2 times 3 is 4 times 3, which is 12. With the calculator, you might have a button that says fact. So here I've got a fact button. So if I press 60 and then equals, and then fact, so shift fact, it will write 60 as a product of its prime factors. So 60 is 2 squared times 3 times 5. And the same for 84. 2 squared times 3 times 7. So if this does come up in a calculator exam, you do have that option of skipping the this step with doing a factor tree and writing the product of its prime factors down straight away from the calculator. Part B, find the lowest common multiple of 24 and 40. So I'm going to pretend we don't have a calculator just to show you the method. So 24, 2 times 12, 12 is 2 times 6, 6 is 2 times 3. 40, 2 times 20, which is 2 times 10, which is 2 times 5. So 24 is 2 times 2 times 2 times 3. 40 is 2 times 2 times 2 times 5. So again, we could do a Venn diagram. So have a circle for 24 and a circle for 40. So they've both got 3 2s. They share 3 2s. They've both got 2 times 2 times 2 in them. Then 24 has also got a 3, and 40 has also got a 5. The lowest common multiple is all of these numbers multiplied together. So 3 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 5. But because we know what these circles are, so we already know that this circle, this 40 circle, multiplies to make 40. So 2 times 2 times 2 times 5 is 40. So the lowest common multiple is 3. That's any number outside the circle, the red circle. 3 times 40, which is 120. Question 23. Sam drives his car on a journey. Here is the travel graph for the first 15 minutes of his journey. So we've got the graph drawn. Work out Sam's speed in kilometers per hour for the first 15 minutes of his journey. So he goes 20 kilometers in 15 minutes. So we could use speed equals distance over time here and have speed is distance, which should be 20 divided by time, which is, well, in hours, it'd be a quarter of an hour. So we could put 0.25 or a quarter, but I'm not going to use that. I'm just going to times by 4. So if he goes 20 kilometers in 15 minutes, how far can he go in 1 hour? So times by 4, he can go 80 kilometers in 1 hour. So that's 80 kilometers per hour. At 10:15, Sam stops for 10 minutes and then drives for 20 minutes at a speed of 75 kilometers per hour. On the grid, complete the travel graph. So he's going to stop for 10 minutes. So these are all 5 minutes, aren't they? 5, 10, 15. So he's going to stop for 10 minutes. That's a straight line. He's not moving for 10 minutes. Then he drives 20 minutes at a speed of 75 kilometers per hour. So again, we could use speed equals distance over time. And this time we're given the time and the speed. So we want to work out the distance. So we could, if we times by time, speed times time is equal to distance. So we'll do the speed of 75 times the time, which again, the time's in minutes. So we could say it's 20 60ths or 1/3 of an hour. So that would be 75 times 1/3 equals the distance. So it's the same calculation, but saying there are 3 20 minutes in 1 hour, because this is 60 minutes, divide by 3. So 75 divided by 3 is 25. So 25 kilometers in 20 minutes. And 75 times 1/3 will be the same. 75 times 1/3 is 25. So the distance is 25 kilometers. So he's 25 kilometers in 20 minutes. 25 kilometers in 20 minutes. So he's at 20. He's going to go up to 45 in 25 kilometers in 20 minutes. So 5, 10, 15, 20, and up to 45. So he's gone 20 minutes along on the time and 25 kilometers up on the distance. And that's the travel graph completed. Question 24. Complete the table of values for y equals x squared minus 2x plus 2. So we're substituting in for x here. So we're going to substitute in the values for x to find the values for y. And when I'm substituting, I'm going to use brackets. So wherever there's an x here, I'm going to change it into brackets. So that's what I'm going to type in the calculator. And inside the bracket, that's where I'm going to put the different x values. So when x is -1, I'm going to put -1 inside. So I want bracket squared. So x squared, bracket squared, minus 2x, so minus 2 brackets, plus 2. So that's what I'm going to set up in the calculator. And for the different x values, so if I wanted to work out -2, I should get a 10. So -2 inside the brackets gives me a 10. That's what I wanted. So -1 inside the brackets gives me a 5. So -1 is 5. Let's do +1 now. That's a 1. And +2 is a 2. And we can see a symmetrical pattern here. So 1, 2, 2, 5, 5, and it should be 10, 10. We'll check by doing the 4. We should get 10 out as our answer. 10. So that's our table of values completed. And then part B says on the grid, draw the graph of, so the one we just did, so x² minus 2x plus 2. So these are our coordinates, x and y. So when x is -2, y is 10, so it's -2, 10. We've got -1, 5, 0, 2. So -2, 10. -1, 5. And then 0, 2. 0, 2. 1, 1. And then it was 2, 1 as well, wasn't it? No, 2, 2 as well. 2, 2. 3, 5. And 4, 10. So we need to join these up with a smooth curve. So not with a ruler, not with straight lines, with a curve. So something like that, hopefully a little bit less wobbly than mine. And use your graph to find estimates of the solutions to x² minus 2x plus 2 equals 4. So it's where our graph, x² minus 2x plus 2, is equal to 4. So it's equal to 4 anywhere along the line, y equals 4. So where is the graph equal to 4? It's here and here. So what are the x values? So we have 2.7 and minus, it looks like minus 0.8. So from my graph, I've got 2.7 and minus 0.8. So your answers might be slightly different to these, but something in that region, in that area from your graph will be acceptable as long as your graph is drawn correctly. Question 25. Here is a right angle triangle, and the shaded shape below is made from 2 of these triangles. Work out the perimeter of the shaded shape. So in order to work out the perimeter, which is the distance around the edge of the shape, we're going to have to work out this length, the hypotenuse. So we use Pythagoras. Pythagoras' theorem says a² plus b² is equal to c², where c is the hypotenuse, the longest length. So if I call this x, I can say 8², the 2 short sides, and 10². 8² plus 10² must be equal to the other length, the hypotenuse squared. So 8² plus 10² is 164. So 164 is x². So to find x, we square root, which is 12.8. So 12.8 millimeters. So this length here is 12.8 millimeters. How about this little bit here? So we've got this length here, this blue length here, which is, it's a hypotenuse, a 12.8, which is the whole way across is a 12.8. Take away this length here, which is a 10. So a 12.8 take away a 10 is equal to 2.8. So this length here must be 2.8 millimeters. So now we can work out the perimeter, because it's 8 and 8 and 10, 8, 8, 10, 2.8 and 12.8. So they're all the lengths around the edge. So just add them together, 8 plus 8 plus 10 plus 2.8 plus 12.8, and we have 41.6. So 41.6 millimeters. Question 26. ABC is a right angle triangle. Work out the length of BC. So that's this length. Give your answer correct to one decimal place. So we've got a right angle triangle. We don't have just the three lengths. We've got an angle involved in the question. So it's not Pythagoras. It's a SOHCAHTOA question. So SOHCAHTOA. So the first thing we're going to do is label the sides. So the hypotenuse is the longest side. Opposite the angle, so the angle we're using is this 56. So opposite it is called the opposite. And the angle between, the length between the angle and the right angle is called the adjacent. So in this question, we're using A because we know it, it's 12. O because we want to find out what it is. We're not going to use H. So it's TOA, which is tan. And that means tan with the angle is equal to O over A. So substituting in, the angle is 56. So tan 56 is the opposite, which is X, divided by the adjacent, which is 12. Now we want to find out what X is. So we want to get X by itself. At the moment, it's divided by 12. So to get it by itself, we do the opposite of dividing by 12. We multiply by 12. So X is 12 times tan 56. So we just type that in the calculator. 12 times tan 56. And that's 17.8 centimeters. 17.8 centimeters. PQR is a right angle triangle. Work out the size of angle X. So again, it's not the three lengths in the question. We've got an angle in the question. So it is SOHCAHTOA again. The hypotenuse is the longest side. Opposite the angle is called the opposite. And in between the angle and the right angle is the adjacent. This time we've got 18 and 15 in the question. O, we don't know what it is, and we're not trying to work it out. So we're not using O. So it's not SO. It is KA. It's not TOA. It's not the ones with O in. It's the one with A and H in. KA. And KA means cos with the angle is the adjacent divided by the hypotenuse. So substituting in, that means cos X is 15 divided by 18. So again, we're solving an equation. We want X by itself. So we want to get rid of cos. And to get rid of cos, we do the opposite of cos, which is a shift cos, arc cos. So we shift cos 15 over 18. So that's just a button on the calculator. Shift then cos. It brings up this cos minus 1. and it's 15 over 18, and press equals. So 33.557. So to one decimal place, 33.6. Question 27. Solve x squared minus 7x minus 18 equals 0. So it's a quadratic. It's an x squared. It's got a squared as the highest power. And we're going to solve it by factorizing, putting it into brackets. So we're going to have x in both brackets. We're going to look for these two numbers. They times to make 18. So they times to make this last number, negative 18, which can be 1 times 18, 2 9s, or 3 6s. They're the numbers that times to make 18. And I need to add up to give me a negative 7. So how can I get a negative 7 out of these numbers? It's going to have to be 2 and 9. So to get a negative 7, I want 2 plus 2, positive 2, take away 9. 2 take away 9 is negative 7. And 2, positive 2 times a negative 9 multiplies to make a negative 18. So if I expanded these brackets, I would get back to x squared minus 7x minus 18. So now we're going to look for the answers. So either the first bracket is equal to 0, or the second bracket is equal to 0. So what does x have to be for the first bracket to be 0? X would have to equal negative 2. And for the second bracket to be 0, x would have to equal 9. So they are the answers. So x is negative 2 or 9. Question 28. In a sale, the normal price of a boat is reduced by 15%. The sale price of the boat is £272,000. Work out the normal price of the boat. So if we've reduced the boat by 15%, it started off as 100%, the total. If we took 15% off, how much is left? So 100% take away 15% is 85%. So 85% of the price is £272,000. How can I work out what 100% is? There are different ways. So we could say we've got 0.85, so 0.85 of P, so 0.85 times P equals £272,000, and divide both sides by 0.85. To find P, we could also say if 85% of P is 272,000, if I divide both sides by 85, I will find 1% of P. So 272,000 divided by 85 is 3,200, and then times by 100 to get 100%. So 320,000, or the other way, 272,000 divided by 0.85 is 320,000. Either way, we get an answer of £320,000.